Hello, I'm Cara Dahl Russell, and this is Practice the Cello with Cara, working through the Piatti method for cello. As you can see, it's a gorgeous spring day here in Salisbury, Maryland, or just outside of Salisbury, Maryland, in the United States. So I decided to go ahead and bring the cello outdoors and share with you some daffodils in the background. And this is a time when there is a difference. What we're playing today is exercise number 4. There's a difference between the free older edition of the Piatti method that's available on IMSLP. I have had that link previously underneath my lessons. And the new edition has distinctions of note quality, like staccato or tied, that are not in the original edition. So the first time we go through it, I'll be talking you through that a little bit. And I also want to say last time I've ended with the varieties of tone from pianissimo to forte. Ugh. Piano, forte. Those exercises, I believe, are also not in the old edition of the Piatti. So, and if you can't hear, you may not be able to hear the difference very well because I'm just using my iPhone to record this, and I noticed in the last lesson you really can't hear the difference between piano and forte very much. So you'll just have to work on that piano, soft, and forte, loud, using whole notes. You could do your whole scale that way. Soft, loud, soft, loud, soft, loud. Now I can reverse it. Fade out. Fade out. So that's another way to practice your scales, adding the first position scales, adding the piano and the forte to it. Or you could do one note soft and one note loud. Loud, soft, loud, soft, forte, piano, forte, piano. So there are a lot of different ways you can work forte and piano practice of your bowing into your other practice. I've migrated out of tune a little bit. Okay, I think that's better. So now we're going to get started on number 4. And as before, we'll start pizzicato. Now, we'll go through this slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. This begins in the top line as staccato for 2 measures. So if your score isn't marked, you can mark that. Staccato doesn't make any difference when you're playing pizzicato. Then legato. Continuing on, legato. Remember your posture. 2, 3, 4. Now these are slurred in the bowing. I'm aware I'm a little bit in the shade for the way I'm set up, but the other way I wouldn't have been able to see at all with the sun in my eyes, and I thought this gave you a better view, so I hope that's all right with you. As we look at this on the page, I told you that there are some bowings in here that are not written in the old edition. The third line is groups of 2 slurs for the first 3 measures, and then 1 note and a slur of 3 notes. Back to slurs, when that's the A to the A is a 1 note, and then the E, A, B is a 3-note slur in the 4th measure. Then 1, 2, 3 measures of 2-note slurs. Then again, the D of 1 note and the G, A, B is a 3-note slur, then back to 2-note slurs, and then a whole note, 2-note slurs, whole note, 2-note slurs, whole note, 2-note slurs, whole note. That's the 4th line. And then the 5th line is just regular bowing again. So we'll go through this slowly with the bowing. Beginning staccato. Rest, 2, 3, get ready to slur. 2-note slur, 2-note slur, 1. 2-note slurs, 1, 3-note slur. On that last line, did you start piano or pianissimo and gradually move up? Full bows. Louder. Remain loud. Forte, forte, forte. And let's go back up to the 3rd line and take this slowly. It's 3 measures with groups of 2 slurs. Slur, slur. 1 note, 3-note slur. Let's try that again, just that measure, that fourth measure. Down bow, up, up, up. So let's start that measure again, and that's the pattern that we have right now with the slurs on this line. So we'll start that line again, the same place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. One note, 3-note slur. Slur, whole note. Slur, slur, whole note. Slur, slur. Are you on the up bow? Down bow. Pianissimo. Get louder. So we've done a section work on this a little bit, and now I'm going to let you start, and notice I don't come in for the first 2 measures in the second line, so you're going to be doing those staccato notes on your own. And they don't have to be that slight, you can dig in more. And then you go back to legato. Whoa. Only you'll play it in tune, right? Because I didn't. Okay, so you're going to start the beginning, and I'll come in 2 measures later. 1, 2, 3, 4, get ready, and now go. Did we finish together? This is one of the longest things we've played so far. So something that happens is if somebody gets off track, sometimes you don't end together, which means then you have to figure out where. So that version we just did, if you want to practice the first part with accompaniment, that version we just did, you go back to that and run through that a couple times more. Right now, I'm going to move on to working with you on the second part, and we can once again just play this pizzicato. You can put your bow down. So we start off with 2 measures of rest. So we count in 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. First line starts 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, rest, 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 2, 3, 4. Remember to support your back. And this is Pianissimo. Pianissimo still. Getting louder. I forgot to give you the notations that are different in this left-hand part. The left-hand part, the first 2 lines are the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. First 17, 18 measures, no particular notations. But then when the top line begins the slurs, it's almost a round, and the second line starts, the first line, ba-dum, ba-dum. Groups of 2 slurs. So it really follows the slur pattern of the first line. And when you get to the last whole note of the first part, that same measure for that last whole note in the first part is when the bass line goes back to just normal legato playing, beginning with a down bow and separate bows. So how did you do on getting the piano and forte in that? We hadn't discussed that as we went through the first part. So I'll try this second part with you again, and we'll take it maybe a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, 4. Rest 2. Pianissimo. Still do full bows, but lightly. Getting more forte. Big finish, big forte finish. So now that we've been through that, one thing you might notice in both parts, when you have this, the next to the last line, 1, 2, 3, 4. The first one is, okay, if we would start that line in the left hand, and the bass line, the second line down, we start with a, which in theory then, our first slur after that would be up bow. So 1, 2, 3, 4. puts us right where we need to be for the legato. So that's something to think about in that section. Make sure that bowing switches back and forth on each one of those patterns. The first one, you have the whole note with the down bow. The first pattern begins with an up bow. The second pattern begins with a down bow. Third pattern begins with an up bow. And then you have your down bow marked when you stop playing the slurs. So I'm going to let you play the bass line this time, and I'm going to play the top line, and that'll finish us up for today on number 4. So now in the new book they call this varieties of tone. Piano and forte they're calling tone. Personally, I don't really call that tone. I call that varieties of volume or and then the slur and the staccato being varieties of attack or dynamics. So these are different phrases you'll hear used for these terms, depending on different people use different terms that they feel are more specific for each thing. So we're going to keep it up at the faster pace. You'll play the bass line, so you start when I'm done with my 2 measures of staccato. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Ready, go. Pianissimo. Gradually getting louder. I said that was the end, but I'm going to do one more with me playing the bass line, so you get to end playing the melody. You ready to start? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, and ready, go. Bum, 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 bum. Still Pianissimo. Gradually more forte. And the crowd goes wild. So I hope you had fun with that. Next time we'll be doing number 5, exercises in the first position, normal and extended. See you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.